WOVU LP, Cleveland.
This is Open Door with Vince Robinson. In-depth conversations with people who are making a difference in the lives of others here and around the world. Culture is at the heart of who you are. Know your culture, find yourself on Open Door with Vince Robinson.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Open Door with Vince Robinson. My guest this morning is Kenneth Zakee. He is an artist formerly of Cleveland, now living in Atlanta. He's been down there for several years, and this is my observation about Mr. Zakee. You could call him an artist. I call him a movement. This brother designs clothes. He's got all kinds of artwork that he does, the gourds that he does, the batiks, just so many things that you're doing. But I've just been so impressed with all of your output over the years. I just decided that it would be a good idea to let the folks in Cleveland know what their brother Ken is up to. Welcome to Open Door, bro.
Thank you, Vic. Thank you, Vince. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a pleasure to have you here. Now, our relationship or awareness of each other goes back maybe 20 years or so. I mean, I
venture to say it was longer than that, Vince. It's been 30 years because I've been out of Cleveland for 37 years. And I knew you before I left to Atlanta.
Okay.
Not while I was in Atlanta. So it's been 37 years, bro.
Wow. Well, you know, when you get long in the tooth like me, you lose track of time.
You got about 20 years.
Yeah. Well, you know, at least,
you better double that, bro.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I know that to be true because I've been in this house for 30 years and I know that we had some interaction. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of garments that you designed that I have in my possession. So, yeah, I know it's been that long. So let's talk about your time in Cleveland. Where did you grow up? What was your neighborhood?
I grew up in, I went to East Tech High. That should give you an idea. I went to East Tech High. I went to Kennard Middle School. I went to Longwood. I was brought up on Old Scoville, which is now Community College, Avenue.
Okay.
Down the street from I forget what we called it. We called it, community college.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
And so that's the area I grew up in, over there on 40th Street and stuff, by the plaza and stuff, Longwood. Okay. That area there, Longwood Elementary School is no longer up. In fact, my middle school, Kennard, isn't even up no more. Only thing still standing is my high school, East Tech. And that's the area that I was brought up on,
okay.
that area around there.
Well, if you haven't been to Cleveland recently, you would be surprised to know, or perhaps not, that East Tech is not a high school anymore.
Oh, well, I was at East Tech last August or so, and it was like a class reunion. I was there that recent, but I didn't. Maybe it happened after August because I didn't notice that while I was there last August.
Yeah. I think that high school is over there on Superior near 79th Street.
East Tech?
Yeah.
No, East Tech is on 55th.
Okay, so I'm confused about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think you got the wrong one there, bro.
It might be East High School.
I know about my alma mater. I'm scared, bro. I'm scared.
All right.
I ain't new to the game. I'm true to the game.
All right.
East Tech was East Tech back in August.
Yeah. I got my Easts mixed up, but I know that the school over there at Superior and 79th.
You talking about East High?
Yeah. East High.
I think you talking about East High, bro.
Yeah. East High is not a school anymore. It's some type of administrative building. A few years back, President Obama was actually there for some political event that was taking place, and I was there. So yeah.
Okay. Well, we got that straight.
Yeah. Okay.
You almost gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, because that class reunion that you were planning to attend might not have been happening. Yes. So, how did it come about that you realized that you are an artist?
That's a good question, Vince. The thing is, I've been an artist all my life. I just didn't recognize it. I didn't really, it was just something I did naturally, and I didn't, all through my life, man, I've done this and that, and I never really just put that label on me, artist. And so, because I would like, even at the age 4 and 5, I could write real good. My mom would give me poster boards and stuff and tell me to make her signs and stuff. And then, like, I would always find myself sitting in somebody's home, and I'm looking at a photo, and I just take out my pencil, find pencil and paper, and I'm sketching that. And I just love sketching. And like few art classes I had in the public school system, I really enjoyed them. But art was always something that I would do for relaxation, particularly when I came to Atlanta. I became a substance abuse counselor. And eventually I wound up, before I exited that field, I had my own program for like 8 years. It was for homeless men with substance abuse problems. And so my release and my relief was when I came home, and I would start doing what I'm doing now that I'm getting paid for, and I developed a clientele from a hobby, but it was my therapy. And even today, my art is my therapy. I'm just in a good position and blessed that people pay for my art. But if I wasn't getting paid, I would be doing it anyway, because it's therapy for me. And it was a natural thing for me because of what it did for me, the calming, the relax. It was just relaxing for me. And so that right there was the inspiration. And like when I found out I was an artist, it was like basically at the end of my career as a substance abuse counselor and, running that program. I just say, they say sometimes the best form of transportation is a leap of faith. And so I took a leap of faith. Lights got cut off, this got cut off, and I just was into my art. My calabashes, my gourds from my old place. Man, I had so many of them on the walls. I was just doing it, but things were getting cut off. Today, I don't have any of them, and I get paid handsomely for that work because I took that leap of faith. And I'm so much at peace with myself because I'm doing what I love doing. And I'll just wake up and kick the covers off so I can get on to a new project. That, and along with my poetry, of course. A lot of people know me for my poetry. They didn't even know the artist in me until I took that leap of faith.
Yes. That's really amazing, Brother Ken, because, the path that many take in terms of being an artist is to receive some type of formal training. So a lot of the folks that I've interviewed and connected with that are visual artists have had experience with the Cooper School of Art. And this was long before I came to Cleveland. I don't even know if Cooper School of Art still exists, but wow. I've done interviews and I've looked at bios, and so many people had that connection. But you, on the other hand, late in life, connected with your art, and as you said, it was therapeutic for you. It's something that you would do if you didn't get paid for it. But the real blessing for you is that you do this and you get paid, and right now, it's your sustenance.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Kudos to you for that. Can you talk about the genres that you are involved in? You mentioned the gourds and whatnot. What is the expanse of your art?
Yes, well, I do wearable art, T-shirts, any kind of garment. Some people they just know me for my T-shirts, but I have customers who bring clothing items to me and tell me to like enhance them, and I call that wearable art. So I do wearable art. I do calabashes. Another name for them is gourds. And I import those from West Africa because they're sort of, the ones I use are big. They do grow in the states and tropical areas like coastal South Carolina and coastal Georgia. And it may be some few other places, but mine's is pretty big in size. They're as big as salad bowls and bigger. And so what I do is I like them because of the three-dimensional effect of them. You have to, and the way I paint on mine is you can look smack dab at it from the front, but it would benefit you to look on each side too, because there's something different or something that, speaks more to the piece of work that I've done, or the art that I do on it. So that's what I love, those calabashes, and they're signature. nobody else is doing these, my calabashes. I haven't seen no one do them where they're hanging on a wall like that. And my inspiration was, I was working with a good friend of mine who has an import-export business, and whenever he traveled, I mined the store for him. So one day I was sitting down looking at all these blank calabashes, gourds, and I was staring at an African mask on the wall, and so I said, and I penciled it, and I took it home, got my paints, and I painted it, and it looked very good. I gave it to a couple as a wedding gift, and like about 3 months later, we had this big new marketplace called Camp Creek Marketplace in Atlanta. And like the person who was a buyer, she had something to do with creativity there. The Empty Lens Crafter store, they was doing for Black History Month, they was doing an artist exhibit. So she was at their home and asked them, did they know the artist? They gave her my number. She called me and said, you have any more calabashes? Would you like to display your art at this? And I said, yes. We got off the phone. I was down around trying to find out where I can get some calabashes. So up until the point of that opening, I was just painting every day. And at the end of that month, I made like $2,500 selling my calabashes, my gourds. And needless to say, that was the inspiration that's kept me going today, because people love them. I paint them. I'm making money for them. So, I'm walking around with a Kool-Aid smile.
That's amazing.
No complaints. And then the other thing I do, Vince, is I do like wall tapestries, all kind of sizes. I can do all kind of sizes. But the interesting thing about my wall tapestries is it may be like a musician, a singer, a dancer, or athlete or something. And it would be, you would see their shape and everything. But what I do is I fill them in with pieces of fabric scraps. It may be like 100 or 200, and like all those colors are just so beautiful on it. I don't use no paints or anything like that. I just put them all on there. And you've seen some of my work. So, yes, that's another thing I do is the wall tapestries. And I do greeting cards. My greeting cards, I've been making those for oh my goodness, since the early 90s. And they're in several stores in Atlanta, and I have a few out of state too. And then, like I say, I told you about the wearable art, but I don't like to limit myself to even the things that I mentioned to you, because I'm an artist, and my motto is, I'm going to put some beauty to a blank slate. If something blank, I feel like, hey, I can do something with it. That like I painted someone's car last year. This lady had me come to her home and paint it was like the upper ceiling part. I did something. I put like some Adinka symbols on there for her, and she just told me to get creative. So those are the things I mainly do, but I just like to be open to other things. I'm just open-minded to other things. Okay. I enjoy challenges.
Okay. Well, yes, there are definitely some challenges involved, and we'll talk about what some of those challenges might be when we come back. You're listening to Open Door with Vince Robinson on 95.9 FM WOVU. My guest is artist Ken Zakee. We'll be back with more after this.
Are you or someone you know in need of help? Here's a resource you can turn to.
The Thea Bowman Center has been serving the community for over 50 years and provides services to help support Mount Pleasant and surrounding communities of all ages. Some of these programs include adult education like GED, computer classes, food pantry, senior outreach, youth after school, and summer programs, and much more. Are you a Cleveland resident in need of a GED preparation, a food pantry, youth or senior programs? Then call the Thea Bowman Center at 216-491-0669 or visit theabowmancenter.org. Call the Thea Bowman Center at 216-491-0669 or visit theabowmancenter.org to register today.
This message is brought to you by the Thea Bowman Center and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
WOVU 95.9 FM, we are here for the community. It's called Our Voices United. We are united to give you all the information from sports, music, gospel, mental health, financial literacy, anything that you need, we got to hear at WOVU 95.9 FM. Don't forget to download our app right now. Go to your mobile app store, download WOVU Put it on your phone. These are one of the reasons why you need to listen to us. We are the community. We're for the community. I am your music director, DJ Chris Towles. And thank you for listening to WOVU 95.9 FM.
Welcome back to Open Door with Vince Robinson. I'm having a conversation with a good friend of mine. He is an artist currently residing in Atlanta, Georgia. His name is Ken Zakee, and I don't limit him in terms of being an artist. I say this brother is not just an artist. He is a movement all by himself. In addition to his visual art, he is also a spoken word artist, and maybe before the hour is over, we'll have to hear one of his poems. I really like the poem that you recently did about summertime. So
thank you, Vince.
Yeah.
That's the one I would like to share if we get the opportunity.
Okay, well, we're going to make sure that you get an opportunity to do that. But I want to get back to your visual art, because there's a common thread in most of the work that I've seen you do, and that is African culture. Can you talk about what drew you to that aspect of your art?
I think the fact that we have a beautiful culture, and we are African, and you're a traveler. You travel to Africa. You live here, and you know the beauty of our people, Vince. And so, and also our youth. My inspiration is to do something that make our people proud, to make them feel good, that they can connect to, or to send some subliminal messages, like with the symbols and the colors that I use. It's just an extension of my social consciousness, my social activism. It's just to, because when I look at my stuff, I say, like, wow, a person came, several people, they always come to me, man, and say, like, man, I got your art in my house, and it's a conversation piece. And when I hear that, I say, I did what I had to do. Mm-hmm. And so, basically, it's just love. It's in a nutshell, bro, it's for the love of my people and my culture.
Yeah. When did you wake up to that?
I woke up to that, man, when I was in Cleveland. Cleveland, I used to be a member of the Nation of Islam. And I was introduced to like Muhammad Ali, and, in Cleveland, how Cleveland is, man. I mean, like, if you have any type of minor education, you're a reader, and it's like Cleveland has a rich culture. It came up, I'll never forget, in 1968 when Dr. King was assassinated, and the Huff fires and all the things that was going on turned around, and here we are at the Thurgood Marshall Center, man. You see people in dashikis. At that time, we called them kungas and bongos, and like afros, and it was just the pride of that era back then. The Black Power movement, I was like young. I was like young when that came up, but I was old enough to let it soak into me, man, and just the pride that we had back then, and that just really kept me going, man. All that, and it happened for me in Cleveland. It happened for me in Cleveland, bro. After that, Dr. King was assassinated in the Black Power movement. We had Ahmed Evans, we had the Afro Set, we had the Black Panthers. I remember all of them in Cleveland. I was in high school. I was in junior high, middle school, and I mean, like, it wasn't nothing to see people like they were members of those groups. Black Panthers, Afro Set, I remember Ahmed Evans, man, a big Black Power movement brother, man. They had his funeral at Wheels and stuff, and I remember that procession, all the people was there. I was in Wheels, man, checking it out, and so all of those things has shaped me into that type of consciousness. And then like with Cleveland, like the 21st Congressional District Caucus, I was a member of that. I was the chairman of the Crime and Safety Committee. And it was just that, that pride in all those 21st Congressional District meetings, it was like black folk, man, black folk running something, black folk organizing and stuff, the Call and Post, all the articles in there. And I was an avid reader of the Call and Post and a lot of those things, man. But I'm so happy to say that it's my hometown that shaped me, Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm proud of Cleveland. I'm proud to be a Clevelander. Stuff. I'm here. I love Atlanta, but my roots Cleveland, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that the Most High blessed me to have the Cleveland, Ohio experience coming up in my life. That's why I am who I am today, bro. I'm sorry to go off on a tangent with that.
Oh, but no, it's not a tangent. It's a foundation, and I'm glad you're expressing that. And as you talk about it, I'm just curious. One, I know that as you are down there, a lot of folks who are in Atlanta now have migrated there from Cleveland. A few months back, I did an interview with Jeffrey Charles, who used to be a fixture on 93.1 FM.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
okay, I thought, wow.
Yeah, and he's down in Atlanta now. When he moved down there, he got into radio down there, and he was actually on the air. And now he has his own internet radio station, and he's, programming for folks down there and programming for folks around the world. What was the impetus for your relocation to Atlanta?
I attended Morehouse College.
Okay.
I went to school a little late. I was like 28 when I came here. I was a late bloomer, Morehouse College. At that time, I was with the 21st Congressional District Caucus, and there was so many mentors that I had there, people there, and they wanted to see me do well, and some of them challenged me to go to school, give me some education, and possibly come back to Cleveland and run for mayor. I got a little derailed while I was here, though.
Okay.
I got a little derailed, man, but I did make something out of myself.
Okay. And I guess it's been a while since you've been in Cleveland to even compare the artistic scene, so to speak.
Yes, it's been a while for me to do that, but like Atlanta is just, I can tell you about the Atlanta artistic scene, though, man. It's like, it's so many people that migrate here, and like it's almost like you got 3 or 4 of everything, and then now Atlanta is Hollywood South.
Mm-hmm.
Because, man, there ain't nothing, man, to drop in any neighborhood and see a film crew.
Right.
Particularly in the black neighborhood and some of our more stable places. You always got to drive around it or something, but film crews are the regular here. Some of the studios who have set up shop here. And so that right there adds to the entertainment scene there alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we have our share of Hollywood productions happening in Cleveland as well. Judas and the Black Messiah was filmed in.
Right. And there was another one. When I was there one time, Spider-Man or the Avengers, some was filmed there downtown by the Roscoe House.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah.
We've had quite a few films shot here, but in addition to that, you're also a music mecca.
That's right.
Yeah. So a lot going on culturally and artistically down there in Atlanta. And I hear that there is a great spirit of collaboration in Atlanta. Is that true?
I've noticed that.
Yes. So, they say the opposite about Cleveland. They say we have more of a crabs in a barrel syndrome here.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but I do interact with a lot of artists, and I'm involved in the artist funding situation here as well. I'm serving on a board called the Assembly for the Arts, and just recently, and this is just a footnote because I want to get the word out so folks who are listening to this hear this. The county received $3.3 million in funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. And those funds are being divided between Cuyahoga Arts and Culture, which is a funding agency for nonprofits. And then you have the Assembly for the Arts, and they are also connected with funding opportunities for individual artists and small independent venue owners. So I'm just trying to get it out there. Folks need to get onto that website, and they need to apply for those funds when they become available. That window may have passed by the time this airs, but I just hope folks are paying attention, because not only did the county get funds, but the city of Cleveland also got funds for the American Rescue Plan Act, and they're deciding how much of it they're going to award to the Assembly for the Arts. So if you're listening, make sure you go to assemblycle.org. check out what's going on that website and make your application for those funds. So back to Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
You're making the rounds as a visual artist, but you're also involved in the spoken word scene. Tell us about your involvement in that.
Right now I'm working on a recording with some musicians, and that's what pretty much got me in the fold, because my main focus has been on my visual art. But during the COVID, about 3 years ago, you might remember, Vince, because you gave me a suggestion about how the camera angle and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I was doing this thing called, it's an elder. She's about 82, and she's always been a big fan of me and my poetry, a big supporter. And so early in the COVID, she had me, Brother Zakee, can you consider sharing some poetry on Facebook? Because I'm shut in, I get lonely, and I love your poetry. And so I came up with this thing called Another Poetic Moment. I did it for like about 3 years straight. And sometimes I did it 2 times a day, and I get so exhausted I changed it. I do it periodically now. But that got me real back into a poetry groove, doing that. It challenged me to write some new poetry, and I step out of the place. I've been working mainly with musicians. I go to a place called Gallery 992 in Atlanta every Sunday. It's a jam session for musicians, where they had to come and get on the mic, but they can't play nobody's stuff. They got to come there and be original. And so the guy who runs it, he and I happened to be in something together, and he told me to come on through. And I said, I'm a poet, man. I'm not a musician. He said, come on, Zach. So I went down there, man. I got up there, and I just fell in line with the musicians, and we flowed. And so all of those things, that doing the thing, Another Poetic Moment, getting with the musicians, it has urged me to work on a recording. And so I got about maybe 10 tracks already down, and I'm working with my man Masiki Scales. He's producing it for me. It's a great local artist here. And so I hope to have it out by late fall, early winter, that my CD with musicians. And like I said, it's going to be my poetry with music. And I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
And so that brought me back into the poetry fold. In the past, I hosted an open mic poetry thing. It lasted like 7 years. And then after that was an explosion of open mic poetry sets. So I closed that chapter out. And I just been writing and stuff. I have about 3 books of poetry. And I'm working on another, because what's been going on for us for the last 3 years has really brought some things out.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about how you survived COVID and a few other things when we come back, and I'm going to have you do that summertime poem when we return. You're listening to Open Door with Vince Robinson on 95.9 FM WOVU, Burton Bell Carr Community Radio. Back in a minute.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
WOVU plays the best music, right?
Yeah.
And WOVU has the best talk shows and information for the city?
Yeah.
Well, now WOVU 95.9 FM has the best website to match. So right now, go ahead and log on to WOVU.org and see exactly what I'm talking about.
I know that's right.
You never have to guess what's going on WOVU 95.9. Log on to the homepage and see exactly what's playing right now, every day, 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
You can find the program schedule, events going on around the city, and check out who's who at WOVU.
You already know what it is.
So do me a favor, pull out your smartphone, your laptop, your desktop, your tablet, log on to WOVU.org right now. Can you do that for me?
I got you, fam.
WOVU 95.9 FM, the best radio station, now has the best website.
Okay.
WOVU.org. Check it out.
WOVU listeners, did you know you can call us during any live show? Did you know you can ask questions or give your comments live on the air? If you didn't know, now you know. Call the WOVU request line at 216-271-0959. Your voice is our request. No one says it like you. You're better than the rest. Call us 216-271-0959. Questions, comments, complaints. We want all that and the kitchen sink. This is WOVU. Our voices united. We can't do it without you. Call on through.
Welcome back to Open Door with Vince Robinson and the conversation with artist Ken Zakee. He is doing quite well down there in Atlanta, Georgia. We just talked about his excursion into the realm of poetry, and he just mentioned that he's working on a project. He's got 10 tracks recorded. I don't know if this is going to be on one, but could you honor us with that?
It is.
Okay. Honor us with that poem about summertime.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The mercury is up and cold drinks fill the cup. In the concrete jungles across the USA, the heat is having its say. Sandals, T-shirts, thin clothes, no clothes, AC, convertibles, and watermelon. Yeah, watermelon. Black folk be eating watermelon and the seeds, spending money on wants and sacrificing needs. The sound of music blare, and there's greenery everywhere. Downtown, the sound of iron doors slam, mothers pacing the floor, babies in jail, and she's got to meet the bail. Woo! It's hot as hell. And just before the fruit turned ripe, little Tony hit the pipe, died, and we cried. Victims of summer madness. Will this lead to winter sadness? This here contains many rhymes. As many as there are people committing crimes, standing soup, welfare, unemployment, HIV, and COVID-19 testing lines. Folks partying in the clubs and neighborhood bars. Homeless people sleeping under the stars. Summer solstice babies are born, and every day folks are discovering the rose bears thorns. Woo! It's hot as hell. Some folks stay cool by dipping in the pool, children out of school, hanging out with the pack. I wonder how many would make it back. They tell me it has nothing to do with being black, but I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Will this summer madness lead to winter sadness? Tired of feeling like a stray cat, fending for self, by self, trying to put food on the shelf. I too want it made in the shade, sipping lemonade. But thus far, my life's been a crime. This is my summertime rhyme. Woo! It's hot as hell.
Yes, sir. Hand claps, finger snaps, and toe taps and dap. Ken Zakee.
Thank you, Russ.
Yeah, you got a few other signature poems. I'm trying
yes,
to
sir.
think
You know
of,
I do.
Yeah, I know. You know, and it's amazing, Ken, because your poems are timeless.
Thank you, bro.
You know,
yeah, I know you've been listening to them for years.
for years. And you know, I'm on Facebook all the time because I have to be. And one time I tune in and there's Brother Ken doing his thing, and I'm like, dang, man, I sure would like to get on and share, but it was a one-person show.
Right.
You know, and during the pandemic, you know, I was thinking about going virtual with poetry. As a matter of fact, I did a few programs. I did one for Cleveland State University as part of a heritage festival that they did, and I did that with Brother Okanta. My living room has been transformed into a television studio, a radio studio. It's a gym. I've got I got this mini trampoline in my living room. So, you know, sometimes I'm about to get my exercise on, I jump up and down on that. So, you know, but the point of it is it forced us to look at different ways to do things.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
We were able to have a festival from the living room. I've done broadcasts that one involved Dr. Mary Weems, who you may or may not know is a Cleveland playwright. Brother Terrence Spivey, who is he's a director. He's an artistic director for his own company, Powerful Long Ladder. And then Brother Okanta, and we did a Black History Month program for Ohio University. I was in my living room, and they were in their respective homes. But we did this live to Facebook and YouTube. So a lot of good things came out of
yes, sir.
The lockdowns.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how did that situation affect you?
Oh man, it wasn't. It made me go more within, and I brought some good things out. It made me very contemplative of our reality. The world, this country, but mainly, as an artist, I spend so much time by myself. And I'm a single person, so like in that regard, and I'm used to Uber Eats and Amazon deliveries and stuff like that. So the only thing that limited me from like going out to certain places that I go to on a norm, like my favorite like restaurants, eateries, cultural centers, and things like that. A lot of them were shut down. And so, but like as far as I didn't lose my rhythm with the thing I love to do the most, and that's my art. And so I had to mail a lot of stuff to my clients and stuff, which didn't change much because I'm used to mailing things around the country. But I think it made me a better person, man. It just made me better, and it made me appreciate what I have and who I have in my life more too, man. It was just a lot of gratitude going on with me, and because it was just deep, man. Like I lost some people and got to go to their funeral with Zoom. I'm attending funerals by Zoom. That right there was a little depressing there. Not able to be around people near and dear to me that, that go through those transitions to be with their ancestors. And that right there was I think that right there hurt me the most, man. It bothered me the most. And also what I felt for our youth, man, having to graduate on Zoom. And then what all the struggles that the youth was going through and the access they were denied to their education, those are things that was really heavy on my heart, and I was very prayerful and meditative about, those things improving and getting better. But like I say, for me, it just made me go within, and I did some art pieces that was inspired by the COVID, and I did about maybe this series of greeting cards that I never did before, and I called the COVID series. But I did some other work, man. I did several pieces that was inspired by COVID, and they all sold. And one of the pieces I did, I used like African fabric. I had about 12 people on this piece of art I did, and about 5 of them was youth, and each of them had a face mask on. But they were African prints, but like the person in the middle had an all black mask, and on the mask it read, "Let us breathe."
Yes.
And so, that's basically where I was, because "Let us breathe," and that was like dealing with, the George Floyd thing, man. It was just so much that came out of that period. And I'm so proud, man. I'm so proud of our young people. I don't care. Everybody trying to say they're man, our young people, man, they went to D.C., man, and they did all that marching and protesting and stuff, man, in the midst of a pandemic. Yeah. And then, like, look how they changed Georgia. I don't know. I think the Republicans are red, the Democrats blue, but they changed the color of Georgia. Mm-hmm. I mean, the county that I live in, Fulton County, they was the deciding votes for the presidential election, for the senatorial election. It all boiled down to Fulton County.
Yes. You could almost say the same thing about Cuyahoga County, because, President Obama got into office, partly because of the engagement of folks here in Cleveland and other big cities in Ohio, because Ohio really, for all practical purposes, is a Republican state. We have a Republican government right now.
Yes, sir.
But that strong presence of black folks in the urban cities, the urban centers of this state,
makes a difference.
It makes a difference. So when folks say, I don't vote, my vote doesn't count, well, in ways it does. But that's another rabbit hole. We don't want to go too far into that.
Yeah, you're right. I just want to say one last thought on that, man. I don't know what we got to do. We got to get our people to get out in those midterms. That's where we always fail. It don't make no sense, just because the opposite party is in. It's like they're saying like automatic. They predicting a year or two in advance that they gonna take over the House. That don't have to happen. I mean, who are they? But anyway, we're going to leave that alone, like you say, bro.
Yeah, because two things that you can't really get too far into, that's politics and religion.
Hello, I'm well aware of that.
You'll never reach a consensus.
You won't. You ain't going to reach no consensus.
Yes. So I didn't want this to get lost in the conversation, and we have just a couple more minutes before we step away for a second. But you have dealt with some health challenges, and despite those challenges, it seems like you haven't lost a step.
No, man, I haven't. I mean, it's like, bro, what happened to me? I got my leg amputated, and like, I look at it like this, man. I'm 64 years old, bro. That could have happened to me in my 50s. It could have happened to me in my 40s, my 30s, my 20s. Where I'm at in my life, man, I've traveled all over the world. Maybe not every place, but I've traveled in all sections of the world. I've done some great things with my life. I'm still doing good things with my life, and I'm just grateful to be here, and I'm just grateful, to just be able to open my eyes to a new day and just indulge in the things that I love doing, and that has not been taken away from me.
Yes. Well,
and, I'm going to be back on my feet too, bro. I got a prosthetic coming and stuff, like the doctors, I've seen them, man. I'm doing good with my rehab therapy. And it's just good things down the way. And I'm going to be back on my e-bike, roaming the streets, all those things. It's just a matter of, just being patient. Yeah. Patience is the key word in my life today, bro.
Yeah.
And, I have so many people that came before me, man, who are examples of perseverance and stuff. And, like dealing with adversity. And like I said, I was a counselor. I counseled people for over 30 years, man, all kinds of stuff, males and females. And I would be a hypocrite not to take the advice that I gave them in their most dire moments if I don't give myself that same kind of self-talk, And that's what I do, man. I have great conversations with myself.
Well, you have conversations with yourself, and those conversations lead to inspiration to others. I've watched the Instagram posts, I've watched the Facebook posts, and I know that you have the interests of the people at heart. We're going to talk a bit more about your art when we come back. Time is flying, but it usually does when you're talking to an interesting person. You're listening to Open Door with Vince Robinson on 95.9 FM WOVU.
Hey, this is Crazy T.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Sims, the CEO of Predictable Results Marketing.
Hi, this is Stephanie Phelps.
Hi, this is Wanda Harris.
Hello, this is Hanford Top Dog Dixon.
Hi, this is Honey Bell Bay, the Purple Poet.
What a dooskies, lovely listeners. This is Kiko.
What's up, guys? I'm Yoni Lokes.
It's E-Rock Beats. It's Ray Huza. And we are
Hot Nation. And you're listening to Burton Bell Carb Community Radio.
WOVU 95.9 FM.
Welcome back to Open Door. I'm Vince Robinson, and I am joined by Ken Zakee, an artist living in Atlanta, Georgia. But, he came up in Cleveland, and it made a good foundation for his artist life. He was working as a counselor, and then, that came to its end, and then he just stepped into his artist role. Self-taught, it was in him, it came out of him, and he is a movement. So you got the wearable art, you've got the calabashes, you've got books, you've got greeting cards. What's next for Ken Zakee?
Well, I told you about my recording project.
Right.
And I really can't say, man, I'm keeping myself open to what's next. But right now, I'm just so happy just producing art. And my art evolves, and I may go in another direction with it, but that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And the reason I got here, because I opened myself up to receive it. And I'm keeping that same openness about my next move, I'm keeping that same openness, bro.
Yes. Could you describe the artist scene in Atlanta? And I'm just asking this question just to get I guess a glimpse of what it's like there and comparing it to what's going on in Cleveland. In Cleveland, we have these artist funding entities that are doing what they can to reach out to artists. But the problem here, or the issue, is that a lot of the funding dollars that go to art and culture in our county, they go to major institutions, and it seems as though individual artists are on the lower aspects of the totem pole when it comes to that. Are you seeing a similar dynamic in that if you are interested or active in applying for grant dollars or funding from?
No, I don't see that. And I mean, like in Atlanta, man, I mean, like it goes through a lot of individual artists. A lot of individual artists get their props. You know, there's so many of them. You know, you're going to still do so many people, but like what I see and the ones who get their awards and stuff, I feel good about it. And it is, we still got corporations and other people, bigger places. They get their share of it, but I think it's equitable, even with the individual artists.
Okay.
Some of the funding, propels some of the artists to different places. Like even during COVID, man, it was special funding for artists, and they did it several times, whereas before COVID, it may be like once a year. Mm-hmm. And they was really working with the artists and helping artists, even helping artists with health issues and stuff. There's like certain insurance places in Atlanta, like the Georgia Council of Arts. We got Fulton County Arts Council. They really get involved and help the artists.
Okay. It's great to hear that. And, we hope to see some significant change. But, fighting for individual artists in this town, in this county, it's an uphill struggle.
Wow.
Traditionally, the city of Cleveland has not provided direct support for artists, and that there's been minimal support from the county. But we've seen a change in the administration here in the city. Mayor Frank Jackson has ridden off into the sunset, and then you've got some young energy in office right now in the form of Justin Bibb. I think he's a 30-something. He's actually, I believe, a nephew of the famed newscaster Leon Bibb.
Yeah. I knew that Bibb name sound familiar. What do you think of the new mayor?
I'm happy to see young energy in that space.
Okay.
He doesn't have political experience, but he has a lot of experience in the nonprofit world and administration.
Okay.
So, he's got the skill set, and he's got fresh ideas and fresh energy, and that's what we need.
That's good. Yes, sir. I'm happy for Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking at a country that has at its head somebody that's pushing 80 years old. And it's like, when are we going to change the paradigm? I don't want to show any disrespect to the president, but it's time to have younger energy in that office, because we're stuck in doing things the way they've been done in the past. But society and the world is changing, and you have to adapt to those changes.
I agree with you. Specifically, we need young energy and female energy.
Yes. Well, Georgia is the poster child for that with Stacey Abrams.
Oh yeah. And she the one she's a dynamo. That's all I can say. And you know about it, so we ain't got to go there.
Yes, indeed. So we'll stay tuned to see what's happening on the political scene.
Yeah, man. Boy, they dirty. They dirty in Georgia, boy. Oh man. Bruh, they got my man. Anyway, we ain't gonna go there. We ain't talking politics. I forget. See, I ain't going there.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think you know.
Yeah, there you go. We're gonna leave it alone.
Somebody that's running for Senate right now.
Yeah. Hey, bro, you picked up on that one. Man, it's a joke, bro.
Well, there might be some strategy involved in that piece right there, but who knows?
It is.
Yeah, but somebody talking about bad air going from the United States to China and coming back for us to clean it up. I'm like, what? What?
Boy, I tell you.
Yeah, he's a heck of a football player, though. You can't take that away from him.
Oh, you can't take that away from him. Shit, I read his autobiography back in the day.
Yeah, yes. So there is a young man here in Cleveland. His name is Mr. Soul. He is a graphic artist, and he spent a considerable amount of time in Atlanta before coming back to Cleveland. I served with him on something called the Support for Artists Planning Team. It was a team of artists and others who came together to try to figure out what the needs of individual artists were and to make some suggestions to the funding agency, which is Cuyahoga Arts and Culture. And Mr. Soul would talk glowingly about the energy of Atlanta, the art scene that was there. And it seemed like at every turn, he was saying, well, they're doing this down there. Why can't they do this up here? Also, there's another artist in Atlanta. His name is Gilbert Young, who is...
I know Mr. Young.
You know Mr. Young?
Oh, yeah. In fact, he won an award, and they gifted him a stole and a crown, and they had me do the artwork on it.
Wow.
And it was presented to him, and he loved it so much. Next thing you know, I had a copy of his famous, his famous one, the one with the hands reaching out.
He Ain't Heavy is the name of that.
Yeah, he gave me a copy of that.
Wow. Okay. Well.
Yeah, Mr. Young.
Yes. Well, Mr. Young gave me a copy of a painting that he did of President Obama that was actually signed by President Obama.
Oh, Lord, you're a lucky dude.
I had the honor of interviewing him for my show. So you're in great company, Brother Ken.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah, man. On that thought, though, Vince, when you asked me about the Atlanta scene, one of the biggest things that's been going on for the last 3 years, man, and they've been really supporting a lot of young artists. Man, all throughout the city, the murals are springing up. And we got this one area down the street from the AU Center, the West End area, where, it's real black, it's traditionally black, and, man, it's just about all the buildings, bruh, have murals on Auburn Avenue. They got a big one of the late Congressman John Lewis. Oh, it's building big. And all throughout the city, man, there's more and more murals springing up. And last year, man, I think about maybe 10 or more went up. But everywhere you look, man, in Atlanta, there's murals. When I was in Philadelphia, their mural thing is so big, man. They got a tour bus called the Mural Tour. They got one specifically to take you all around the city to show you all the murals.
That's a great.
And that's a big thing. That's a big thing that's going on in Cleveland now, man. And in the West End, they're doing a lot of historical ones. They got some people that are living right now that they have their pictures and their paintings, their stuff on the walls and stuff, man. I love this mural movement that's going on, man. But that's one of the biggest things on the art scene that's happening in Atlanta right now.
Okay. Well, Mr. Soul has actually put up a few murals around Cleveland.
See?
And they're
around Cleveland.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's got probably at least 3 or 4 murals on different places on the east side of Cleveland. And I'm connected with someone who has an organization called Sankofa Fine Art Plus. Her name is Robin Robinson, no relation, but she's part of a movement to.
That's
put
beautiful,
up more murals.
Bro. That's good, Vince. I mean, that's where all the energy coming, man. It's putting, and the thing I like about that mural thing I'm telling you about, bro, it's putting the young artists to work.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We got young folks, man, doing those murals, man, and they beautiful.
Yes.
But it's open to all ages, man. But those young people, man, they putting some flavor on those walls.
Okay. Well, we're rapidly running out of time, Ken, and before we go, I want to make sure that people know how they can reach you, especially in terms of obtaining your art. So you want to drop that on them right quick.
Yes, sir. You can see my art at kzakee.com. That's my website, KZAKEE.com. That's my website. You can find me on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Kenneth Zakee. Kenneth Zakee. And you can check me out on Facebook and Instagram. And give a brother a shout. Give a brother a shout out.
All right.
Before I go, Vince, I just got to tell you something, man. I don't mind. I want you to smell your flowers while you still here, bro. I'm so proud, man. It's people like you that make me feel proud to be a Clevelander, man. You're doing the work, Vince. Yeah, I know you love our people. You love our culture. You love you're a musician. You're an artist, as far as I'm concerned, bro. But I just you make me feel so good, man, about being a Clevelander because all the work that you're doing and you out there, man, and you're just making the world a better place, bro. And, on a personal, man, you know, you came to Atlanta, you stayed with me. I just got to tell you in a nutshell, simply put, I love you, brother. Well, you keep up the good work.
I will return the compliment, and I love you as well. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me this morning. Much success to you, brother. And thank you all for listening. As always, know yourself, love yourself, be yourself. Make today your best day. Peace.